In this video, we will be covering parallel and perpendicular vectors. Two vectors are perpendicular if the scalar product equals 0. Two vectors are parallel if the magnitudes of each vector multiplied together is the same as the scalar product. If it is the same, it goes in the same direction. If it is a minus out the front, the difference is only one is negative, one is positive. You know they go in different directions, but they're still parallel. So now we're going to answer a question. We need to show that this pair of vectors are perpendicular. Remember, to show our scalar product, it's x1 times x2 plus y1 times y2. So 5 times 0 plus negative 3 times 0 equals 0, so that these pair of vectors are perpendicular. Next, we need to show that the pair of vectors are parallel. This means we need to prove that the scalar product is equal to the two magnitudes of the vectors multiplied. So the scalar product is negative 170. We next need to find our two magnitudes. If we multiply our two values together, we get 170. Since our scalar was negative 170 and our multiplied magnitudes was 170, we know that these are parallel but in different directions, because one is positive and one is negative. Next, we need to state whether the following pair of vectors is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Your first step should be to try to identify your scalar product. If it equals 0, you know that it is perpendicular. After that, you then find your magnitudes to test whether it's parallel. If it is neither parallel or perpendicular, you know it's neither. So first thing we need to do is find our scalar product. And it equals 0. Therefore, the perpendicular. Remember, if it wasn't 0 here, if our answer was not 0, we would then test if they're parallel by finding the magnitudes of vector u and vector v and comparing, and then deciding whether it was parallel or neither. To end the video, we'll do a quick recap. Remember, if your scalar product is 0, you have perpendicular vectors. If your scalar product is equal to the magnitudes of both vectors multiplied, you have parallel. If they are both the exact same sign, you have the same direction. If they're different signs, positive and negative, you have different directions. When you come to a question whether you're deciding which one it is, you need to step 1, test for if they're perpendicular. Step 2, test if they're parallel. And finally, you make a statement concluding what you found.